Hello my people, my name is Arjunius and welcome back to my channel where we make sense out of things that are not supposed to make sense. Today's topic request was by Patreon Sarah, who has requested me to do this topic for the longest time, so here it is just for you. So, Islam is a religion that praises values of mercy, peace, and follows an ethical lifestyle for the world, the environment, sacrificing for the greater good, and giving back to the impoverished. Meat consumption among most Muslims is ritualized as halal meat and is a big tradition that is celebrated, but what I am about to reveal may show a totally different opinionated interpretation. I understand that everyone has slightly different ways of interpreting their religion, so watch this with an open mind because we just might blow your mind. Is halal ethical? Halal means permissible by Muslim law. So since Muslim law says you have to like this video, then it would be halal to do so. Just kidding, it doesn't say that, but you can if you want to, because halal is about being ethical and honest with your relationships, with your money, and everything encompassing your life. In terms of animals, Islamic law dictates that animals be treated well before consuming them. So if these animal products that you consume have to be halal, then should you really be consuming eggs, milk, cheese, honey, leather, and all these other animal-tested products? These were certainly not sourced from animals that were cared for in a halal way. Even in these so-called humane factory farms, animals are still being artificially inseminated, aka raped, kidnapped at birth so that we can consume their dairy products, and enslaved against their will. Think about it this way, if we were to replace all of these animals in these slaughterhouses with humans, would it still be ethical and honest? I mean, there really is no such thing as humane slaughter, because if we did what we did to animals to humans, then we would call it a Holocaust.
Holocaust.
Muslim ceremonies and events. Eid al-Adha celebrates the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son in obedience to Allah. In the process of sacrificing his son, Allah replaced it with a sheep instead. So why even sacrifice a cow, sheep, goat, or camel during Eid for the sake of Allah when Allah is not commanding you to do this or kill anyone at the moment? Allah gave humans a choice to slaughter certain animals to consume in His name. He claims we have to make sure the animal is killed by the throat fast and is not surrounded by other dead animals. Now, is this really happening with your meat? Our demand for meat is so high due to our increasing population. From the times these people lived in, our times have changed dramatically. In ancient times, we ate meat to survive, but today, we eat it for pleasure, convenience, and comfort. The ultimate point of Eid is to practice sacrifice for the greater good. But sacrifice is something that generally belongs to you. It is something that you have to give up for something greater. Causing pain on someone is a sin, right? It is not a sacrifice that you are making of your own personal possessions. Why? Because animals and sheep do not belong to you, so it's not really a personal sacrifice. Abraham was supposed to sacrifice his son in the name of Allah, his own flesh and blood that he brought into this world. But Allah used his magical powers to replace it with a sheep. This sheep belonged to Allah, so who is to even say if that replacement sheep was even real or was designed by Allah to not feel any pain whatsoever during that sacrifice? And what's more is that this was Allah's direct choice for the sheep to die this way. So murdering an animal is not really going to make a compassionate God happy, unless you're obliviously worshipping the devil. Compassionate sacrifice will make a compassionate God happy, like giving up bad qualities about yourself, donating to the poor, or feeding a hungry sheep instead of killing it. The Quran states He has only forbidden you carrion, blood, pig's meat, and animals over which any name other than God's has been invoked. But if anyone is forced to eat such things by hunger rather than desire or excess, he commits no sin. God is most merciful and forgiving. We unfortunately do not eat meat to survive anymore like we did when we were living in caves. Today we overindulge in meat for tradition, for comfort and convenience, which is all characterized under desire, not necessities. So if you really think about this, under Islamic law, eating meat in today's time is not really halal in accordance with the Quran. The impact of our world and future. Now let's keep in mind that Islam promotes feeding the poor and helping the vulnerable. But did you know that vegan diets have the potential to end world hunger forever? Forever. I mean, it's 2021. This is gonna get common sense very soon. Think about this. It takes way more food to produce a sheep. So why waste all that food that was fed to that sheep in its lifetime and raising it when we can just use that food and resources to feed the poor? That feed can produce a lot more food than one sheep. It's just more sustainable. For instance, the food stock that animals are fed is mainly vegetables or grains. Therefore, by avoiding eating animals, we can allocate these resources being wasted on 56 billion animals a year to the poor and hungry of our own kind.
So in conclusion, the animal suffers, the environment suffers, and your own mental and physical health suffers.
So it doesn't really sound like something that a compassionate God condones. Going vegan gives us a much more sustainable world, saves our water, prevents wildlife destruction, prevents mass extinctions of animals, reduces global warming, doesn't support animal abuse, and is much more better for our physical and mental health. Pythagoras once said, "For as long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. Indeed, he who sows the seed of murder and pain cannot reap joy and love." In the Quran, a man once said, "O messenger of Allah, I was going to slaughter a sheep, but I had mercy on it." And then the messenger of Allah said, "If you have mercy on the sheep, then Allah will have mercy on you twice." So clearly there are themes of mercy for animals within Islam. In fact, I recently spoke with a sheikh from Dar al-Ilyum, and he told me that it is never necessary for Muslims to kill or consume animal products, but that it is our moral duty to educate and change the world for the better. Peace begins at your dinner plate. Chaos out, my people. And once again, shout out to Sarah for requesting this topic. If you'd like to select a topic of your choice, be sure to check me out on Patreon for topic requests, giveaways, and get your name featured on my videos. Peace out, my people.